Chapter 12. A second test. As the two continued to walk down the hallway, Quinn started to feel a strange surge through his body. Hey, let's go to the doctor. I'm sure the military must have a healer who can patch that up, Peter suggested, his eyes focused on the cut on Quinn's hand. Good idea, Quinn agreed. You don't have to come with me. I can reach there on my own. It will be a busy day tomorrow. So why don't you head back to Thedom? Although Peter was worried about Quinn, Peter didn't want to stick in the halls for much longer where other students were able to see him. He also had an irrational fear that someone would link them with the injured boy down the hallway. Quinn read the hesitation on Peter's face. Look, don't worry. I will be fine. I appreciate you looking out for me, Quinn encouraged. It was a strange thing to say, given that he was the one that had gotten injured while saving Peter. He could see the puzzlement on Peter's face, so he gave him an encouraging push towards their room. With that, Peter quickly rushed off and headed back to the dorms, making sure to cover up his wristwatch most of the time as well. He didn't want to stumble into another bully. Quinn, on the other hand, immediately rushed to the nearest boys' toilet just down the hall. When he entered the toilet, his eyes went to his arm where Carl's claws had left an ugly cut. Quinn examined his hand closely. Something strange was happening. He could literally watch his arm healing in real time. Though it looked slow in reality, it was incredibly fast. For someone to be able to actually witness his skin scabbing over and healing was an amazing sight. Quinn had actually felt something strange happening to his body when he was talking to Peter. It was the reason why he had insisted on Peter leaving him alone. If Peter had watched his wound heal, Peter would know for sure that he had an ability, if he did not already suspect that. Quinn waited a few minutes and opened up his status screen. It was as he thought. His HP slowly regained as well. HP 810 eventually. The wound on his arm and back had healed completely, and only theraps on his shirt were left. HP 1010, your HP has recovered, your hunger has grown. Does this mean the system uses food to heal my wounds? I guess it makes sense. The energy has to come from somewhere, Quinn thought as he felt himself getting hungry. It was as if he had just missed breakfast or something. When Quinn had the chance, he would get a quick bite to eat. Before Quinn headed back to the dorms, there was one more thing he wanted to do. He wanted to get back to the training room that they had been shown while touring the school. It was getting late and the students had an early start in the morning, so most of the students had already returned to their dorms. This meant it was the perfect chance for Quinn to head to the training room without anyone seeing him. He finally reached the training room in the academy, a large oval dome-like building with a huge empty space in the middle. At the edges of the room where there were giant mech robots, shooting targets, and things Quinn had no idea what they even did. Still, he hadn't come for those. No. The one thing he was interested in was the power level testing equipment. Inside the training center, Quinn had also spotted the same machinery that had been used at the testing field. When Quinn entered, the room was unsurprisingly empty. Slowly, he made his way over to the testing equipment while walking past all the other sorts of machinery, and finally, he stopped just in front of the drum, like level testing machine. It was the same type of model as the one they had used out in the fields to test their strength. Unbeknownst to Quinn, Lala had also snuck to the training room before Quinn had entered. She had come to test out her bow and arrow skills. She always practiced at night when she was nervous, and she couldn't help but worry about tomorrow. When she heard the doors to the training room opening, she immediately hid behind one of the giant robots. Suddenly, she saw the student walk over in her direction. Then she noticed something. Isn't that the boy that I took the test with? If I remember correctly, he had no ability. Lala recognized him, although she could not recall his name. Lala continued to watch Quinn as he approached the large drum. Let's see, Quinn said to himself as he circled his right arm to warm it up. He swung his fist back and prepared to hit the drum as hard as possible. When he punched the drum, a number appeared on the drum and slowly started to rise until it eventually stopped at 10. Seems like I was on the mark, Quinn exclaimed happily. He had come to test his theory about his status screen stats matching the equipment the school list, and he was seemingly right. Lala, who had been watching from behind one of the robots, also noticed Quinn's new score. Confused and curious, she decided she wanted to find out more about this mysterious student, and would stay hidden to learn more. Quinn then went to the hologram spike machine. Last time, Quinn managed to last 10 seconds against the machine before it got too fast for him to dodge the attacks. Since his stats were no longer halved, he figured he would last longer. This time, Quinn started the test, weaving and dodging through the spikes. Unlike out in the fields, he felt more agile as the spikes whizzed past him. When the test was done, he lasted exactly 20 seconds. With Quinn having confirmed his results, there was nothing left for him to do but head back to the dorm and wait for the next day to start. Meanwhile, Lala, who had stayed hidden this whole time, had seen everything. She couldn't understand why a student would hide his strength in a school. A low power level meant that one would be targeted by others. Lala only had one thought while she looked at Quinn. Maybe there will be ores for him. She decided that from now on she would keep a close eye on Quinn.